Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Chiron Sextile or Trine, one's natal midheaven. Now, this transit may manifest in physical and emotional wounds, helping and healing others, depleted self-esteem, being in harmony with one's career, laborious work, responsibilities. Now, I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. It's not about be having a good blending of depleted self-worth with the career, hard work, responsibilities, but career-related matters, working hard, accomplishing things, taking care of responsibilities may be beneficial toward depleted self-worth or self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. If you have your natal midheaven Scorpio, your work may entail something connected, could be with insurance or tax examination, the occult, which includes astrology, investigation, forensics, embalming as some examples. Now, what I want to state too is that, of course, the transit of Chiron, is not going to supplant or replace your natal Chiron placement. Your natal Chiron placement was there, for the entirety of your life, for your duration, the time you're alive. But the transit Chiron, when you're talking about making sextile or trine to a point in your chart, I mean, that could be beneficial and have effect during the time of the transit, though. And also, too, some of you may wonder, well, what is the difference, between this transit, the sextile and trine, and the conjunction? Well, now the conjunction transit and the sextile and trine are comparable, but they're not precisely or exactly the same. The sextile and trine aspects are auspicious, they're flowing, they're harmonious, it's a good blending of the transit of Chiron, in this case, to the natal midheaven. But the thing is, the conjunction, is similar, but it's more intensifying. It's very integrating, amalgamating. It's a strong concentration of energy. And conjunction aspect can have good, it's a neutral aspect, it can have good and bad qualities. And when you have the transit of Chiron making a conjunction to the natal midheaven, well, that may be expressed in some cases. It could actually be suffering that one may be going through, in matters of a career, whether it might be lost or it could be contentious situations with somebody prominent there, an authority figure, as some examples. And I mean, it can have good as well. I mean, it can also be a time for, it could be through healing through the career, or it could be where the dominant parent, which is often the father, may provide a time for healing that person, or a time where you might be healing that person, maybe as well. It can be also, this transit can manifest in, in some cases, well, it could be where 10th house people, whether it's the dominant parent, which is often the father, authority figures, and older people, those people may be advantageous in you dealing with any suffering you may be going through. It could be some ineptitude or weakness. It may be, the Chiron, I would say too, can be in some cases just where you feel inept. In some cases it might be actual weakness. If you have the transit Chiron is in Gemini, it might be where some people may be feeling inept in communication, cerebral ability, being able to articulate things, being versatile and diversified as some examples. Now, at the time of this video, that I'm making this video, transit Chiron is in Aries, and many people collectively may be experiencing issues with unworthiness. It could be identity issues. It may be, just dealing maybe issues with courage and fortitude, bravery in some cases too. And this is where the 10th house people can be beneficial to you in dealing with that. At this point in time, it can be, again, it could be authority figures, it could be the dominant parent, which is often the father, it could be older people, people that are prominent in your livelihood, as some examples. And it's also a time where attaining greater could be notoriety, recognition, can be beneficial in suffering you may be going through. That what you feel is this maybe the deepest wound at the time of this transit. If you have your natal midheaven in Sagittarius and maybe gaining some notoriety or recognition, it could be in publishing, advertising, sports, importing or exporting, doing something maybe with the outdoors, as some examples. And it's also about being able to accomplish things can mend pain you may be going through at this time. And also it's very positive, I would say, too, and advantageous to help and heal others that are at your place of career. If you're trying to this, again, with this transit Chiron, it's at the time of me making this video, being in Aries, it could be through showing initiative and encouraging others to do so, and helping those people with those issues maybe at your place of business at this time. And another thing too, with this transit is that when you have the transit Chiron making a sextile or trine to the natal midheaven, of course it's a good relationship between helping and healing others, and being able, it could be to be gaining certain recognition for this as somebody that is a helper, that's willing to do things for others. It could be just being that team player. If Aquarius is involved, it could be something about connected with showing selflessness, altruism, doing things for the better of the group, and less about being egocentric or doing things just for simply for the reason of gaining some kind of recognition for self-centered reasons. And it's also a time, the midheaven is also connected to reputation and public image. So if you've had any issues with those things, this could be a time where healers, and if you're a spiritual person, it could be somebody in spirituality, or people that want to help. These are, this is a time where there can be, healing, a good time for healing during this transit. Again, if there have been any issues where your reputation or public image has been, you've been vilified or something, or been slandered, this is a time where those people may be beneficial in terms of helping you, deal, with those issues at this point in time. And it's also, again, just a very, just a positive time, just to be able, to get and to be able to help, to be able to provide assistance for those at your place of business at this time. And another thing, another way this transit may manifest, it could be where it's very positive, again, for helping and healing, which is Chiron, others, and through those qualities that you may have difficulty in suppressing, which is the midheaven. Now, if the natal midheaven is in Pisces, as an example, maybe there's maybe some compassionate qualities, sacrificing, being altruistic. Those are the qualities you may be able to help others at this point in time, and use to help assist other people, help and heal others. And also too, issues with depleted self-esteem, which is Chiron, may be dealt with just by through career accomplishments, which is the midheaven, and the depleted self-esteem is Chiron, of course. Now, let's say if the natal midheaven is in Sagittarius, it could be those career accomplishments may include something with sports, publishing, advertising, importing, exporting, college teaching, and maybe theology in some cases. Now also too, this could be a time where it's propitious to deal with suffering, which is Chiron, and being assisted by the dominant parent, which is often the father, older people, and authority figures, which is the midheaven. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now let's say if the transit Chiron is in Capricorn in the 12th house, it could be, matters connected with stature in life and social status, which is Capricorn, maybe tied in with secret sorrows, which is the 12th house now, and also physical and emotional trauma, which is Chiron. You may have more actual success, which is the midheaven, in dealing with. Now, the transit Chiron, say, is in Scorpio. Maybe there's some issues, with a death or an insurance matter or ability to transform, make a major change or deal with crisis at this time. And those issues, maybe you might have more of an ability just to be generally successful in dealing with at this time, more so than usual. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.